Good evening. Welcome to a special, unannounced uh, series of videos you're going to be getting this October. Stephen King Saturday night. So join me every Saturday night in October at 5 p.m. Central Time as I discuss the Stephen King movie, and boy do I have a doozy for you to start this off. We have the 1992 film Sleepwalkers, starring Brian Krause, Alice Krige, and Madchen Amick. Sorry, I mispronounced your name, ma'am. Yes, and tells the story of the Sleepwalkers, the only two left in existence who are going around, and they are sucking out the life force of virgins, preferably female virgins, I guess, although, well, they always have to be female, who knows, this is the story of when Charles, one of them, is going after, what's her name? Tanya, played by Madchen Amick. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Yes, and this movie, so I've heard about this movie before. I've, of course, seen a Nostalgia Critic review, and I had to see this for myself. And this movie is every bit as bonkers as Nostalgia Critic said it was. It's free on Pluto TV. Go watch this movie. It is, and, I have to agree with him. There are parts where it's boring, and then it just ramps up for like 5 minutes. And then there's some boring talky stuff, and then it ramps up for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what it is. But the start of this film has Mark Hamill playing a cop, along with another cop, as they are investigating the previous incident with the Sleepwalkers, where they have the house, it's in California, the house with a bunch of hanging cats, which doesn't make sense in the context of what we find out about it. So I'm going to go ahead and spoil that right now. Find out the cats can hurt them. So how were they able to grab the cats to hang them? For the rest of this film, they have traps, like bear traps, outside the house, getting ready to snap, to kill them because they can't touch them. Because we find out that it's their weakness. So how did they hang them? Did they have hanging traps? Maybe. I guess there might be those. I don't know. I guess I've heard of those, but in cartoons. But this is like a live action cartoon. And so, yes, they've moved to Indiana, not Maine, even though this is a Stephen King story. And I should mention this is not based on a book. This is a screenplay that King wrote. And this is, yes, and we see there's romance between Charles and Alice Krige's character. She's his mom. Yep. And I said I watched the Social Critic review, and I thought maybe he misunderstood and that they were pretending to be mom and son, but he calls her mom so many times. And there's one time, and I do believe this, he has to say, "I love you, mom," and say it like he means it in a romantic way. And the look on Brian Krause's face is like it was the most cringiest thing he ever had to say. He's like, "I love you, mom." That's the look at his face. He's like, "I love you, mom." Like, it's the worst thing he ever had to say. You always say, "I love you, mom," but like to have to try to be with romance in mind, no. And we get a sex scene, sort of. We don't see anything. There's no nudity in this. I think it's rated R. I heard a few F-bombs and shit here and there. But we have Otho, or Bob from Demolition Man. Glenn Shaddix, may he rest in peace. He's the teacher, Mr. I don't remember. Lalamin. I don't care. And so he figures out that Brian Krause, that Charles is not who he says he is. There's something going on. And so he's blackmailing him for sexual favors. Good use of your gay actor, guys. Hey, he's gay. Have him hit on him. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the script. But, I'm pretty damn sure that wasn't in the script. And when King or someone found out that they hired Glenn Shaddix and that he was openly gay, we'll put that in there. Because, why not? Then we get the first crazy scene. Charles turns into a cat person, rips off his arm, his hand, and hands it back to him. This being Glenn Shaddix, runs through the woods yelling, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! As Charles ends up eventually killing him. We meet the cop with his cat Clovis, who is the hero of this film. The cat, not the cop. Well, the cop dies later. The cat is the hero. Clovis is the hero. I'm not kidding either. Clovis is the hero of this film. Yep. And he's like, get the bad guy. And then he also has this thing later where he's like, there goes Johnny with picker in his hand. He's a one-man band. And he's off to the rodeo. I don't know how I memorized that, but I've been saying it nonstop getting ready to do this review. I've been singing it. Getting the apparatus ready, setting this stuff up. I just kept going, Johnny is somebody with a picker in his hand. He's something like that. I don't know. I laughed. I forgot it, but anyway, so yes. So of course he wants. I feel like maybe they rushed into him trying to get her soul thing, because like, isn't he trying to get her soul or whatever, her life force for both of them? But he's just going to attack her in a random cemetery that they go to do like rubbings and stuff. And he attacks her there, trying to suck out her life force. It doesn't really make any sense, but then, freak out, he turns. She stabs him with a corkscrew in the eye, and then he starts complaining that his shirt is got blood on it. Look what you did to my shirt, my favorite shirt. And I'm just like, dude, you got stabbed in the fucking eye. Your shirt is the last thing you should be worrying about. I can imagine King Redden. Okay, he gets stabbed in the eye, but he's worried about his shirt. By the way, we get a crime scene shortly after this. But I'm skipping something very important. So, she's running out. They find the car because, someone said they saw Charles's car. I think the cop chases after him after Glenn Shaddix's death, and he recognizes the car, so it turns into a red one. But then when he starts doing the thing, maybe he can't hold the deception, so it turns blue again. So the cop finds the car, and she comes running out, and she's like, help, he's a monster. Okay, get in there. Charles comes up from behind him, takes the stick right through his ear, and says, Cop kebab! I laugh every time I Cop kebab! Yep. And the cop's not dead yet because he fires off some shots. He shoots him, and then he turns around with the other one-liner and says, I don't believe you fired a warning shot, officer. Okay. And then he kills him. And then we get the crime scene. And you get a bunch of directors. If I remember correctly, at the top of my head, Toby Hooper, Clive Barker, I think, Joe Dante, maybe one more. I think that's who they are. I forgot to write it down. But then, Stephen King cameos. He's going around trying to tell everyone involved with law enforcement, I ain't taking the rep for that. You can't blame this on me. Great use of your writer. Because if this ends up being a bad movie, which I think it's so bad it's good, if this ends up being a bad movie, then you've got Stephen King himself saying, you can't put that on me, this isn't my fault. That's actually a pretty good use of your Stephen King cameo, to be honest. So now, the cat's out of the bag. Pun intended. Pun intended. This movie, you don't get to have unintended puns. The pun was intended, of course it was. The cat's out of the bag now. And so now Charles is dying. And his mom, oh no, my baby. I'm like, you should see her. Like, when he comes home and she thinks, she's like, oh. I'm just like, and then he's like, oh no, my baby. And I'm like, you can't be aroused or mentally concerned for your child the next. That doesn't work. Hell. But then, like, so yeah. She says, you have to go dim. So he turns himself invisible for like 5 seconds, and it comes back. He's weak. So she goes to the house where you have another cop. And, okay, so because I watched the Nostalgia Critic review before this, like a few times, you watched Nostalgia Critic reviews enough, then you watch the movie that they did the review on, some of the jokes pop out. So, of course, I did the joke where, the cop's eating dinner, and he goes, oh, this is the best dinner I've had. I haven't had a dinner this good since my wife died. She was delicious. That's the Nostalgia Critic joke. And I said it without even thinking. As soon as he said that, he's like, this is the best dinner I've had since my wife died. She was delicious. We're just so used to that. Sorry. So the mom shows up, kills the cop with a corn on a cob. Stabs him right in the back of the head, or the back, or something. Kills him with a corn on a cob. And she drags the daughter out. And the cop, Ron Perlman, is like, okay, put her down. Just so matter of fact about it. Alright, put her down. Dragging. Kills Ron Perlman, at least breaks his arm. And takes her back to Charles. She says, look at him, he's dead. But he's clearly breathing, so he's not dead. Pops back up after she sings some kind of song. They're going to drain her life force, but then Clovis to the rescue. She goes out. Charles dies, and because he dies, she freaks out. She goes outside. She starts going nuts on the people. And Clovis jumps on her, scratching her and making her set on fire. She burns in the blaze, and then we end with Tanya holding Clovis, who's the hero of the story. A cat. A cat. It's the hero of this story. This movie is nuts. I have to give it the rating so bad it's good. I had to do that. I think I give it to one movie. I don't know. I think if I re-reviewed The Room, it would be so bad it's good. But I have to give this rating so bad it's good. Because I cannot give it a 0 and I can't give it a middle of the road. It has to be a so bad it's good. Because it is so bad it's good. Yes, there are some boring moments, but when you get the wacky moments, when the shit starts to happen, it happens. And I can't recommend it enough. This is a great start to Stephen King's Saturday night. Can't wait to do more. I got 4 more movies lined up for this, so hope you enjoy. Do you like my background? I kind of put this together here. It's mostly It, because that's mostly what I have. Stephen King is It. I was going to wear my It shirt, and I forgot. I'm not redoing this, so I'll just wear it for the next ones. Sorry. Yes. So what are your thoughts on Sleepwalkers? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.